Welcome. It's the Great Big Unity Quiz. It's hosted by me, and Joe Robbins is hiding. He's been partially responsible for anything that goes wrong technically. In fact, he's wholly responsible if anything goes wrong technically. If it's content you don't like, that's my fault. So the whole thing is going to be this shambolic. So if you're not into it, like Unity's new pricing model, you'll just have to accept it. Following this morning's announcement, the only thing there is now more of than ways to pay for Unity is Crossy Road clones on the App Store. Unity also announced Unity Connect, a way for like-minded Unity practitioners to meet one another. I imagine it's very like Tinder. Experienced shader programmer, swipe right. Incredible 2D animator, swipe right. The last remaining scripter still using Boo, swipe left. Someone who understands how the Xbox One plugins work, swipe right, marry, and hold that person forever. I'm kind of glad they announced Unity Connect, because so far there aren't enough opportunities to go online and find people who have got a great idea for a game that's GTA meets Clash of Clans and willing to offer you equity in exchange for your hard work. For exposure. Boom. If you're wondering exactly what this quiz will be, you are very much in the same boat as I am. I have no idea how long it will take. It could be that it fails completely, finishes early, and you're in the bar in 20 minutes. Or we could all still be here at midnight, none the wiser. It's very much the baking light maps of the day. Consider this quiz like a Unity beta release. The core is very solid, but there's lots of things that are going to take a few tries to get right. It's going to take a long time before it's as good as promised. And even if we do know some bits are broken, we're going to carry on anyway and hope that nobody notices. Like I say, this is the big Unity quiz. We're lucky to be joined by two teams of Unity development heavyweights. A team drawn from the ranks of Unity's own staff, facing off against a team of the finest Unity practitioners around. For some of them, it'll be the hardest challenge they've ever faced. For those of them who've tried to make a game using UNet, it will be the second hardest challenge they've ever faced. It promises to test their knowledge, it will test their skills, it will test their artistic flair, and most of all, it will test your patience. So without further ado, let's meet the teams. First of all, from Unity, Kerry Turner, Andy Touch, and Matthew Muller. Are you this side? And facing them, our team of Unity development professionals, we've got Steve Krause from Pixel Maniacs. We have Lizzie Atwood, Technical Director of Furious Bee. And Alex Trowers, Independent, creator of Glyph Quest. Right. Joe? Can you see my questions? Yeah, go there. Forwards. So, like all great quizzes, we've got buzzers that the contestants will be using in order to indicate when they've got an answer. So, let's see if they work. Lizzie, do you want to try yours? Very good. Alex?
It's okay.
This presentation is powered by CryEngine, ladies and gentlemen.
One side?
That's unfair, of course. It is.
Okay, try again.
It is impossible. It's crazy.
Steve, let's see yours. Lovely. Kerry?
John Ricoletto.
And the all-time classic, John Ricoletto. And Andy.
Oh, I love shaders, me.
Matthew.
It's
Well, this is going to be quite the event. Okay, well, we'll start as tradition dictates, and because it's a good further test for the buzzers, with a short trivia round. So, all right, so it's things on buzzers. Press your buzzer. If your face comes up, you can answer the question. Get the mic, answer the question. It's like a quiz. It's amazing. Question 1. What year was Unity?
Nested prefabs.
What did he say? Oh. That's the answer to several of the future questions, but currently incorrect. I can offer the full question to the other team. What year was Unity launched on stage at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference?
I'm going to go with 2005.
Correct!
Right, we press nothing.
You're losing, guys. What are you going to do about it? Question 2. In which city was Unite 2010 held?
It's business time.
No conferring.
Montreal.
Correct! What was the name of the game that spawned the Unity engine?
Oh, I love shaders, me.
Gooball.
Correct! It was Gooball. Don't clap every time, they don't deserve it. With which version did Unity add Android support?
Oh, I love shaders, me.
I'm going to take a guess with 1.
Incorrect. I can offer it. It is a number above 1.
3.
Correct! For how long, in months, did Unity sell Flash development licenses? Again, it's a number. Lizzie.
3.
It's a higher number than 3.
It's business time.
12.
Oh, it's close. Oh, I'll give you half a point. It was 13. Happy times for all those Flash developers. Unity 4 added Linux standalone builds, DirectX 11 support, but which major engine feature was also introduced?
It's business time.
Mechanim.
Correct. Mechanim. You'll get it back on these. These are more less Unity related. They're not. They're all Unity related. That's the whole game. A famous game developed in Unity made famous a man called Brian Henderson. But why?
What was the question again?
A famous game developed in Unity made famous...
John Ricoletto.
It was not John Ricoletto, but I can take your answer anyway.
Was that Curiosity? What's inside the cube?
It was.
he,
Brian Henderson
he was the winner,
was
right?
the winner of that. And look where he is now. Nowhere.
I think you're using the word winner wrong.
Yeah, no. You could be right. To the nearest 10%, what is Unity Technologies' current satisfaction rating on employee satisfaction website survey, Glassdoor.com?
Oh, I love shaders, me.
Is it 80%?
It is 80%. And you three, what would you say your satisfaction percentages are right now?
I'm at about 90, actually, yeah.
Well, that's impressive.
100%? They sent me to Amsterdam, so yeah, I had to say that.
200.
Wow. I mean, that is why a lot of things in the Unity engine don't work, because that's a man who doesn't understand maths. Which rock legend was part of John Ricoletto's investment partnership, Elevation Partners?
Oh, I love shaders, me.
So it's either David Helgson or Bono.
It is both David Helgson and Bono. It's Bono. According to the most recent figures, what is Unity Engine's market share? Of engines, obviously.
For every platform or specific
It
ones?
is impossible. It's crazy.
Development tools.
I'm going to say 60%.
Do you want to give an answer and see if it's closer?
On every platform. Or,
No, as a development platform.
It's business time.
70.
Sorry.
I like it. 70%.
So it's actually 45%, so there's a lot of catching up to do.
I'm on to
Others make up 17. It's weird. I don't understand how their graphs work. It's probably his fault. Yeah, you were close, so you get the point. Well done, the community team. So around for the community team. They've not got a point for ages. And finally, in this round, sadly, there's plenty more quiz to go, which platform will be sunsetted when version 5.4 comes out, Peter?
It's me.
Is it web player?
It is the web player. Pour one out for the web player fans. It is going. And if this is the first time you've heard about that, I'm very sorry that you've learned about it in this way. And that's the end of round 1. Okay, so at this time, one of the things we're going to try doing is overly ambitious and almost certainly won't work. So, with that in mind, I'd like to invite someone from the community team to come up and start work on their robot for the thinly veiled Robot Wars tribute, Robot Wars. What's going to happen here is a member of each team is going to have 10 minutes to devise a physics-based robot which will autonomously, you may start, whoever's going to do the task may go ahead.
We've nominated Steve because he's actually used hinges before. Once. Which is 100% more than we have.
And it's a very hinge-centric round. Fans of hinges are going to love it. Yeah, a few fans of hinges in. It's nice to see you guys. Catch you later in the bar. Special hinge section of the bar. Shit section. Right. Yeah, so the robots they build are going to fight one another at the end of something, and the winner will be judged on artistic merit, technical flair, and whether they push the other robot into the fire pit. Do you want to ruin the tension by knowing the scores after round 1? Yeah. Okay, the scores after round 1. You're not the boss of me. Turns out she is the boss of me. The Unity team has 5.5 points.
If that's the applause they
And
get
the
for
community
5.5,
team
we're
has
screwed.
3 points. But they have the support of the crowd, which is arguably more important.
There are more community than employees. That's reassuring.
Right, at this point in the proceedings, I normally like to have a round of Play Your Colours Right, where we take photographs of David Helgeson at various events and identify how high his collar was and compare it to other photos of David Helgeson, and you've got to decide whether it's higher or lower, which is a very fun quiz, except when he rocks up at GDC 2016, unpopped! But necessity is the mother of invention. So I have come up with an even more groundbreaking quiz. Play your Unity feedback requests right. We will be taking requests from the popular Unity feedback site. We'll be giving you the description, and you've got to decide whether they have had more or fewer upvotes than the previous feedback requests. It's a good gauge of what people care about and or can muster in large groups. So we'll work from the end of the line, and we'll do higher or lower, and if you get one wrong, we'll move to the next player and move to the other team and swap back and forth as you see fit. So, item number 1, animator window zoom. Anyone who's used the animator to any degree will know it gets very complicated very quickly. And to be able to zoom that window, like you can zoom almost every other window, would be incredibly useful. Roughly how many people do you think, this is not an official question, how many people roughly do you think have voted this up? Order of magnitude? 1,000? It's good. Okay. 363 people think that is important. It's a relatively large amount of people, but how many people thought this was more important? F# support. The exceptionally popular programming language F# that everyone knows and loves. Do you think more people wanted F# support than animator window zoom, or do you think fewer people?
I'm going to go with lower.
You're going to go with lower? Unfortunately, not. Over 1,000 people, presumably the entire F-sharp community, were rallied round to vote for F-sharp Sport. So we're going to have to swap over to the other team. Kerry, you have control. So looking at that potentially relatively high figure for F-sharp Sports, do you think more or fewer people believe that the dark skin theme should be freely available to all users of Unity or just people who've paid for it?
Higher.
You think higher? It seems petty not to include it. That is the description of this particular request. Petty. Petty Unity people not including a dark skin theme. Well, yeah. 7,783 people believe that's the most important thing right now. That is the highest... Oh, I've ruined the next go. It is the highest rated Unity feedback request thus far.
Can I go next?
I'm afraid Kerry still has control. Do you think replace QuickTime, update movie texture support is higher or lower? Bearing in mind, QuickTime have stopped supporting QuickTime on Windows, and it's a massive security risk for everyone. How many people do you think care about that? Do you think it's more or less than a dark skin feature for all users?
Lower.
You're right. It's 133 people, 133 Windows users who have thought ahead a tiny amount, but don't have a dark skin on their editor. Okay, so current number, 133. Kerry. Editor, panic button for infinite loops. We've all done it. We've all been spammed on Twitter by someone offering a third-party solution, but how many people have voted for that as an official part of the Unity engine?
Oh, higher, definitely.
Higher than 133? Yeah. 717, very good. Built-in localization support, higher or lower than infinite loop panic button?
Lower?
You were right to say lower. It is much lower because no one cares about other languages. And physics, destructible meshes.
Ooh. Higher?
And he said significantly higher. He's right, 1,378. That is people who've used Unreal for a bit and realized the only good part of Unreal is that you get physics destructible objects straight out of the box. It's not the end. I'm being mean about Unreal, but it's really good. And its CryEngine's quite good as well, but it's really hard to install. 1,378 people thought physics destruction messages was important. But what about the option to set Z-axis to up? That one will appeal to confused, fallen over people.
Lower.
Lower. You're right, say lower. 3 people. I mean, if you really want to do that, just move your camera around, surely. And that's the end of Play Your Unity feedback requests right. I've written an arbitrary number of points on my scoreboard. And for the benefit of anyone who cares, it is now 10.5 points to Unity and 4 points to the community team. Let's check in with Steve and see how he's getting on. Sounds like it's going well for Steve, so let's leave him to it.
This is horrible. Thanks, sir.
You can't see this, but it's looking great.
Is it? Not doing anything. That's one strategy.
You might, if you try it in an empty scene, it might be might work better.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, go for it.
We could go for the double bluff. You could just make something that sits there really, really small and let their thing just drive over us and off the other side of the arena.
We should do that.
No physics at all.
Yeah.
Does it have to contain physics?
It doesn't have to contain physics. You could do it in a different way if you wanted.
What if you just make it really, really heavy?
You will lose points for technical flair. We're now going to try something that's even more complicated than what we've done so far, which is simultaneously run the quiz and use the buzzers.
That probably won't work.
That probably won't work. Let's find out.
So I have to switch back for the answers. So there'll be a delay before you...
Oh, no. Let's not do that. Let's just throw questions at randoms. Here we go. This is a round called #UnityTips. Everyone's aware of #UnityTips, right? It's a place you go to go, yeah, I knew that, and go, oh, blimey, I didn't know that, in virtually equal measure. And sometimes go, that's completely wrong. Why are you recommending that, you idiots? Can everyone see that from where they are? It's quite a long way away. OK, so starting with Matthew. Force blank when your game is paused, and no one will notice the hitch. What is being blanked out? Sorry. So missing words round. If you've got good answers, just shout 'em out.
13 sausages down your trousers.
It's a good answer, but it's not correct.
Force update.
No, it's force garbage collection. Oh, garbage collect, sorry. It's a good tip, I guess. Don't break your blank, because it's hard to use Unity with a broken blank.
Face and nose.
Laptop.
All good answers, not quite yet.
Prefab.
Mouse.
Again,
Seam.
good. It's more specific than that. Thumb. Don't break thumb. It's hard to use Unity with a broken thumb. It's a tip that applies to all of us. We've almost all got thumbs. Stacey Hafner says, set the blank to help avoid inspector mistakes. Hashtag Unity tips, hashtag game dev, hashtag indie dev. Really gone for it on the hashtags. Old Stacey. Any ideas?
That's a really long bar for the word lock. No.
Background colour, but spelt wrong.
Yeah, it's close enough. It's preferences, colours, play mode tint. Point to community team there for Alex.
You told me about that feature.
Oh, shit.
It's a wonderful tip. Hashtag Unity tips. Blank while developing, or you could maybe die. Probably one of the best tips you'll get here or anywhere else at Unite this year.
Eat and sleep.
I will accept it. Eat food every so often. It's very much the most basic of the Unity tips, but one that we all forget sometimes, and often we end up dying. Timothy Johnson says, use blank to divide up your variables in the inspector. There's probably no funny answers for this, but it is a useful tip.
Header tags?
It is header tags. Or more specifically, header brackets blah.
Useful, yeah.
You can use other words. I recommend blah. Thomas says, I'm against censorship, but I must say that the blank is highly irresponsible. Hashtag Unity tips.
Fucking swear filter.
Any ideas? It's a classic.
This quiz.
It's a good answer. No, it's the subject matter of this film. I have a feeling someone has used the incorrect hashtag on this. Unless someone's made a Unity Tips snuff movie that we're all unaware of. And if you have done that, don't do that. It's ridiculous.
I think it's just not spelt tips.
Don't just test your game in Unity. You should also constantly check the build, because that
is a very sensible thing to do.
Could work.
that will give you an unnecessarily positive view of your own game. The answer is, it causes whole new problems. And that's the end of the missing words round. Steve.
You could have picked way worse Unity tips, I'll be honest.
Worse in what respect?
Basically, Gary Newman's Twitter feed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like to avoid Gary Newman's Twitter feed as best I can.
I think I have it.
There we go. Who? I mean, we don't know what's intended to happen here, but apparently this isn't working. To me, this appears to be working perfectly.
Hold on, I might have it fixed. Hold on. Look it
No crashes, no infinite loops. I count those. Oh, look at that!
This is better.
No, it isn't.
That is loads better. I mean, that bit's gone. That bit's gone right away.
If that flies into your robot's face.
And have you got a name for your robots?
Teapot Charlie.
Unreal.
Wow, okay. Is my time over yet?
Oh, yeah, it went over ages ago, but we were
Wait, really?
we were being super generous.
Well, in that case, let me just do my hack. And
So one of the Unity team now needs to come up, take the stage, and create a second robot. Yeah, let's switch back to this machine.
this is weird.
So join us.
No one's watching that.
Is it?
Right, so we've got one more round of questions.
I don't get it.
We've got the big robot battle, and then you can all go and get drunk. So that's good, isn't it? If anything, we're standing in the way of you getting drunk, which sounds like a terrible thing for us to be doing right now, much like the whole of this quiz. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, this might.
Oh no, we need the. Sorry, we need the things again. Sorry. I think they got a preview of that. Andy, you ready to start?
Yep, I think so.
Andy's good to go. Right. So we've all used hashtag Made with Unity. We've all entered our games onto the Made with Unity site, hoping that one day people will buy our games. We never really check those things for other people's games, but I mean, I'm sure they exist. What I've done is I've scoured the heart of Made with Unity for great-looking Unity games, and I've subtly doctored them, and you've just got to identify what those games are. But we can't use the buzzers because of alt-tabbing reasons, so you'll just have to shout your name. So, the first one. Can you see where it has been subtly altered? Does anyone have an idea? Does anyone know what this is? What is this game before it had Steve's face on it?
You know, Andy? Andy?
I'm building the robot.
I know.
Yeah, but take a look. You must know.
Okay, you're not going to get it, and this isn't going to help. It's Escape from Tarkov, and it's a beautiful looking game, and you should check it out. Next up, this game.
Oh,
Super hot.
super hot.
You've got to shout out your name.
Alex, super hot.
Super hot.
Oh, just missed out on a technicality. It's unfortunate. And just in case you weren't sure, oh yeah, it's definitely super hot. Now, I warn you, if you are of a mild disposition, this next image may shock you.
Rust.
Steve.
Rust?
Oh, shit.
Rust.
Correct, it is Rust.
Last Friday.
Weirdly, though, I didn't have to doctor that one at all.
Firewatch Special Edition.
Here we go. Just in case you were wondering, the cold, dead eyes of Alex have been removed and replaced by the Rust character. This game...
Alex, Hatterful Boyfriend.
Correct. Hatterful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating simulator, made possible by Unity.
And Insanity.
There you go, in case you missed it. It was a pigeon all along. And here we have this game. One of you better get this, because I've forgotten it. It's added a much-needed element of danger to proceedings. No one on stage? Anyone in the audience? Come on. It's a...
These are popular games, yeah?
I wouldn't say it's popular, but it looks great. It's a feudal stealth action game starring this guy, and it's called Amigati, and it's coming out on PS4 next year. It might not be called that, but none of you know, so it doesn't matter. Finally, in this round, it's very popular on Made with Unity right now. Doesn't normally style Lizzie outwards. Anyone know? So it's called The Descendant, and it's about people going underground in an adventuring style. Very worth checking out. That's the end of the quiz. Right, go back to the buzzers. Andy, how's it going with your robot?
Still filing bug report. Don't do
That's not a robot.
Okay, can we have this screen on?
This is a lot more elaborate than I figured.
What is it exactly?
I mean, that is looking very strong. Are you in a position to take that into the... Andy, put it in the other scene. So now we get to see the spectacular conclusion of this spectacular event. The Great Robot Fight-Off 2016.
It might be a dead piece.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for indulging what is never to be repeated event for many, many reasons.
Hashtag you were there.
It was a bit of fun for some or all of us. It might have been fun for none of us. We'll have to do a survey afterwards. You know, scaling doesn't really help the physics system.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's the expected sizes. Now fix it to work, and then we're good.
Does everyone want to vote? Who do you think's going to win ahead of time? Anyone care to make a prediction?
Going a bit overboard on the size there.
Does anyone think that what looks like some kind of screw attached to a big block of wood with a teapot vaguely nearby is going to win? Say aye if you think that one's going to win. Thank you very much indeed. Now, who thinks that the giant, oddly phallic teapot on a cock and balls is going to win? Say aye. Oh.
Was that us?
No, we're the other misshapen teapot. Yeah, they're rooting for us.
we
We've
got
got the
the
popular
picture.
vote.
Have you done the game manager thing?
Who thinks Andy should lose his job if he can't build a robot better than what we just did?
Player one has not yet lost the game. Right. Should we see if this works? Have we got audio on this? Okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be spectacular anyway. That's fine. It'll be fine.
I really like your strategy.
How long have we got the hall for?
Congratulations, weird teapot thing. Are you going to run that again? The physics system is deterministic, so it will be exactly the same all over again. You're allowed to make one change.
You were right.
Round two. It doesn't allow the forces to activate until it goes.
Yeah, bring it.
Whoa. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, with an incredible score of 900 points, the winners of the Great Big Unity Quiz are the community team. Thank you all very much for coming. Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your new nights. Have drinks. Be merry.